I'm Alex McIntosh, and today I'm teaching you the board game Parks. In the game Parks, you play as an explorer visiting the different national parks across the United States. For example, this card here is Yosemite National Park, and then it shows the point total that each card's worth, as well as the resources required to obtain a park. This is the overall setup of the board game. You have the resource cubes, or tokens, that you'll need throughout the game, as well as the trail that's going to be set up for the first round with the season, which for this case, the season bonus is that you gain 1 water token if you gain a tree token at any time. And then down here shows the weather pattern, which is shown here. It has 2 waters and a sun and repeats. But it's important to know that you always skip the first part of the trail for the weather pattern. Along with the setup, you'll have the parks shown that are available for purchase, the pieces of gear that are available for purchase, and then each player has a campfire that's denoted by their color, as well as the first player will get this token to show that they go first at the beginning of the round. Last thing, each player receives cards like these, which shows their yearly goal, and by the end of the game, if you have achieved the task on the card, so in this case, if you visit 5 parks that have a water token, you'll get that many points, or 7, you get that many points. Now during each round, players had the opportunity to go visit along this trail. So since green starts, we'll showcase here. Green can visit this space and obtain the water from the weather pattern, as well as 2 waters from the card itself. Then blue would go, and the blue could go to any other space here except for the one that's already occupied by a hiker. If they did go to this space as so, they would need to extinguish their campfire, but they would get to obtain the resources as well. You can only do this once per round, and it refreshes at the beginning of the next round. So play continues as so, alternating between who goes first and second until all campers or hikers reach the end of the trail. Once that happens, the last player on the trail is automatically pulled to the end, and the end of the round actions begin. Now at the end of the round, players have the opportunity to reserve a park, which means you take this token and whatever park you want to reserve it for purchase later. That goes on the side, and you can purchase it when you have the ability to, but does not count to your score until it's officially purchased. You also have the option to buy gear. Now with gear, you need suns to buy those. And when you're the first person to finish the trail, it requires 1 less sun to purchase. So this one would only cost 1. But for this case, where the gear only costs 1 sun, it would require still 1 sun even if you're first. The importance of gear is that it allows you to reduce the cost of some parks like here, or to add additional canteens when you fill them up. Now a canteen are these cards here, which you would collect on certain spaces, and that allows you collect it, and when you obtain a new water token, you can place it here and instantly perform this action. So in this case, I filled the canteen. That means I would get 1 tree resource. That can only be filled once per round, and all canteens are emptied at the end of the round. There is also no limit to how many canteens you can obtain. Once the round is completely over and all players have performed their end of round tasks, you take the top card of the trail deck and add it to the end, and players all move to the beginning and refresh their campfires. Play continues as normal as last round, traveling the trail. Just make sure each round you get a new season and adjust the weather pattern accordingly. So for this case, it's now a sun, water, sun. And again, skipping the first one, sun, water, sun, sun, water. And now for this season, parks cost 1 less sun to visit. Play continues like this for 3 more rounds, and At the end of the game, players then tally up how many points all their parks are worth, and the player with the most points wins. One other thing to add is that there's the camera involved in the game. And the player that does not start first at the beginning of the game gets the camera. The camera is used on this space, which allows you to, if you have the camera, it only costs one resource to take a picture, like this. Pictures are worth 1 point at the end of the game and are important for scoring. If you do not have the camera, you can spend 2 resources to obtain it from the other player. And lastly, there are these wildcard tokens that can be used as any resource that you need. They're obtained on spaces such as this, which shows you can exchange 1 resource for 1 wildcard token. That should be everything you need to know, and you're ready to play Parks, the board game.